The story of King Saul. Imagine a time when Israel had no king, a people guided by judges, prophets, and by the very voice of God. A time when faith stood at the center of leadership. Now imagine the moment when that people, tired and insecure, decided to change everything. Today, I invite you to journey through a powerful and deeply human story. A story marked by calling, power, obedience, pride, jealousy, and downfall. The story of the first king of Israel. The story of Saul. Israel was surrounded by enemies. The Philistines pressed in from every side, and fear filled the land. The people looked at the nations around them and saw kings leading their armies, and they decided they wanted the same. Standing before the prophet Samuel, the people demanded a king to rule over them and fight their battles. Samuel was deeply grieved, because he understood that this was not just a political request. It was a spiritual rejection. They were rejecting God as their king. Still, God allowed it, but he made it clear that this choice would come with consequences. It is in this moment that Saul appears, a young man from the tribe of Benjamin, tall, strong, and impressive in appearance. He was not seeking power. He was not chasing a throne. He was simply searching for his father's lost donkeys when his life changed forever. Saul meets Samuel and is anointed in secret. The Spirit of the Lord comes upon him. His heart is transformed. Signs confirm that God has chosen him. When the time comes to present him publicly as king, Saul hides among the baggage, a gesture that reveals humility, fear, and insecurity. Yet God confirms him before all the people. In the beginning, Saul reigns well. He leads Israel with courage, wins important battles, and unites the nation. Hope is restored. The kingdom begins strong. As long as Saul listens to Samuel and obeys God, everything works. But time passes. Victories increase. Power grows. And slowly, dependence on God fades. Facing a massive Philistine threat, Saul receives a clear command: wait for Samuel before offering the sacrifice. The days pass. The army begins to scatter. Fear takes control. Under pressure, Saul makes a fatal decision. He offers the sacrifice himself at that very moment. Samuel arrives. The rebuke is sharp and unmistakable. Saul has disobeyed. He trusted himself more than he trusted God. Samuel declares that Saul's kingdom will not endure. Even then, God grants him another opportunity. Saul receives a clear command: destroy the Amalekites completely. But he spares King Agag and keeps the best of the livestock. When confronted, Saul lies. Then he excuses himself. Then he blames the people. And Samuel speaks words that echo through history: to obey is better than sacrifice. In that moment, God rejects Saul as king. The Spirit of the Lord departs from him, and a tormenting spirit begins to afflict him. It is in this dark season that David enters the story, a young shepherd, overlooked even by his own family, but chosen by God. Samuel anoints him in secret. David defeats Goliath. Israel rejoices, the people sing, and those words pierce Saul's heart like a blade. Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands. Jealousy is born. Envy grows. Fear takes root. From that day on, Saul sees David as a threat. He hurls a spear at him. More than once he sets traps. He plots his death. But while Saul is consumed by hatred, David grows stronger. While Saul loses control, David seeks God. The king no longer governs Israel. He hunts a man. Samuel dies, and Saul is left alone. On the eve of a great battle, Saul cries out to God, but heaven is silent. In desperation, Saul commits his greatest offense. He seeks a medium, violating God's law completely. Samuel is summoned, and the final sentence is pronounced. The next day, the battle against the Philistines is a disaster. His sons are killed. The army flees, wounded, defeated, and abandoned. Saul falls upon his own sword. Thus ends the first king of Israel, a man who began in humility, who was chosen by God but who ended destroyed by disobedience, pride, and jealousy. The story of Saul teaches us that starting well does not guarantee finishing well, that power reveals the heart, and that disobedience always demands a price. While Saul lost himself trying to protect his throne, David became king by protecting his faith. And behind this entire story stood a man who never bowed to human power, a prophet who heard the voice of God from childhood, a man named Samuel. If you want to understand the man who anointed Saul, anointed David, and confronted kings without fear, then you cannot miss the next video. The complete story of the prophet Samuel, a man called by God from a young age, faithful until the very end. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment, what do you believe was Saul's greatest mistake? Because here, History is not just told, it is experienced.